I tested one of Amazon's best-selling gaming PCs, complete with an AMD 5600 6-core CPU, an NVIDIA RTX 3060 Ti, 16GB of RAM, and a 1TB SSD. Not bad specs for a mid-range system. I ran some gaming tests at 1440p and even 4K, and the results may surprise you along with the price of this pre-built. So the gaming PC has now arrived, and I'm super excited for this one. Now, this isn't my first system from AWD IT, it's actually my third. I purchased one this time last year for the cheapest gaming PC on Amazon Video, and I was pleasantly surprised by how well the system was. It had a super cool case, it had a pretty decent CPU that had a good upgradability to it, because you could add a graphics card and so on. But the major problem with it, the fact that the PC only had a hard drive. It had no form of an SSD, and it was trying to run Windows 11 on a hard disk, which was incredibly slow and virtually impossible. Whereas this time, we have got an NVMe 1TB SSD. Let me get it out the box. So it's going to be super duper fast. Plenty of space for some games even on there if you wanted to install a few games actually on your boot drive. And it'll actually handle Windows 11 quite well, because I recently switched over to Windows 11 and I quite like it. I actually quite like how it operates as a whole. Some cool features on there, especially if you're plugging this PC into like an ultra wide. My first impressions of this PC are pretty awesome. I love the fact that it is incredibly small. The case looks fantastic with this sleek white design and also has a cool RGB light strip on the front of the case. But more notably, the form factor of the PC is incredible, especially compared to my huge gaming PC that I use as my daily driver. Oh, it says, "Caution, handle with care," and I just literally smashed it against the case. So internally, this PC looks super tidy, and the components are pretty good too. So you can see we've got a Zotac 3060 Ti. I'm a huge fan of Zotac graphics cards. Both Gigabyte and Zotac are usually my go-to options in my personal builds, and I have the Zotac 3080 Ti as well as the 4090 Ti in my last two builds. They have really cool lighting effects and all sorts. But this is a super thin one. Look at that. It just occupies a single sort of PCIe lane. Oh, beautiful. But what we've also got down below here is a pretty decent Kingston 1TB NVMe SSD. So it's not some random no-branded rubbish. Got a pretty decent drive there. I'm happy with that. And then let's take a look at the RAM. What we got for the RAM sticks. Let's crank one of these babies out. So for the RAM sticks, as you can see, they look pretty decent. Obviously, the system has got 16GB of DDR4 memory, which is pretty nice. And what clock speeds we got? What we run in here? 32 megahertz. No, not too bad. That probably pairs all right with the AMD CPU that's in here. It's not too bad. I like them as well. They've got a nice little heat shield on there. They're not super cheap like the ones we had in that Minecraft gaming PC. Another pretty cool touch with this pre-build in particular is that it does include all of the boxes for the parts that are included. So you can see we've got an Asus motherboard, and then inside of this box we've got all of the different accessories, which is super useful for getting this thing set up. And also you've got your Zotac box here. So this one helps verify that you've got some legitimate parts, but also you can resell if you wanted to upgrade the system, because it does have a pretty decent AMD CPU in here. You've got 6-core, it's a 5600, which isn't too bad. 6-core CPU is pretty good for gaming. And if you wanted to beef up some of that GPU power, then you could obviously sell this on eBay, and it gives you that upgradability. Whereas usually when you buy pre-build, you literally just get the system, and then there's no way of sort of selling your parts in a nice, convenient manner on eBay with official boxes and things, so you lose a little bit of money there. But the ultimate test that we need to check is the cable management at the back. Let's take a look at this. Wow, that's really good work. I'm happy with that. That's way better than I would do. It's all nicely cable tied in, pretty neat, and it is not a modular power supply, so they've actually done really well to fit all of that in, considering that they've got a bulk of cables that they may not even necessarily be using. So now let's take a look at how this PC actually performs. Now, something really cool that I completely forgot about in Steam, which blew my mind, is the network transfer. So basically, if you already have a gaming PC or a gaming laptop and you may be upgrading to this system or a new PC, instead of re-downloading all of your games from scratch via the Wi-Fi, which would have took like a whole day on my internet, I could just basically transfer the files directly off of my current PC straight onto my new one, because they were both on and active at the exact same time. Absolutely mind-blowing feature. Got us up and running in like half an hour rather than an entire day. So let's go for it. Oh my gosh, got to prepare the shaders. I hate games like this. Why? Why is modern gaming like this? Every bloody game has got shaders that you have to download. Last of Us Part 1 was awful for it. It's truly testing my patience.
A few moments later.
So the first game we're going to take a look at is Hogwarts Legacy. Everyone's hyping about this game, so we've got to see how it performs on this system. We'll turn NVIDIA DLSS off. Of course, that's a fantastic feature that you can utilize to boost your FPS, but obviously we want to see that native performance of that GPU. We will drop it down. We'll drop it down to 4040p. Going to be honest here, I can't really see handling 4K. And nice, the recommended settings are actually high, so we'll roll with that, and we'll see what it does first. Right, so we're now in a game of Hogwarts Legacy, and we've got, we've turned VSync off as well, so we can sort of see that uncapped frame rate. And but remember, we're set on high right now at 1440p. The monitor it's running through is rendering it sort of a 4K rather, but it's dropped down that resolution just so you guys can sort of see how it would perform on an appropriate panel, 1440p. So you can see we are getting over 60 FPS. Now, excuse the screen tearing. Obviously, because this panel is going through the capture card and all that type of stuff. It wouldn't look like this if you were actually playing this on your own PC with it through the monitor properly. So we're hitting solid 60, over 60, looks fantastic, performing great, and the render latency is sort of nice and low too, so it feels nice and responsive. Right, so the game is now rendering in 4K at high graphic settings, and you can see the drop in performance isn't that bad. 37, 40 to 40 FPS, that's not terrible. This PC is handling it like a beast. So you could play in 4K if you so desired to. You drop a few settings down as well. Bear in mind, we're still on that high preset. So if we were to drop a few settings down that weren't as important to ourselves, then we could easily at least get a solid 50 FPS here, I'd predict. So now let's take a look at Fortnite. Now, by default, it has chosen the Epic preset, basically, when it's in that sort of system scan, which seems all right. The 3D resolution seems to be down a little bit. We'll roll with that. Should be fine. And obviously, as well, we're going to render out at 1440p, because realistically, that's what you're going to play on this PC. Frame rate set to unlimited, and the VSync is turned off, so expect some screen tearing because of the capture card. Okay, so here we go. We are in Fortnite Epic settings, and 75 FPS while we're in the battle bus. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Let's have a look at what happens while we actually play. Yeah, oh, the render latency is really good. Much better than Hogwarts Legacy. Like, that's feeling good. And nice in the hand too. So interestingly, when I actually booted up this PC, by default AWDIT had installed loads of useful things on there. Like Steam was already installed for me, so I just booted that up straight away and started playing my games. I did have to install Epic Store though. Something about the Epic Store I find really awful to use. Like every time you log in, I can't remember what my login was, and I have to like almost create a new account and then try and log in with my Xbox ID, and it's like, no, that doesn't exist. Oh, it's so frustrating. Then I realize, oh, everything just never seems to work. Then I finally get in and find my account and get stuff set up. But my favorite thing is Steam, to be honest, on PC. Right, so we're on the ground, 60 FPS. That's not bad. Because of course we could drop down the settings. You don't need to play Fortnite maxed out. You know, it doesn't really make a difference, really. It's Fortnite at the end of the day. Is this a guy? Oh, it is. Oh, we're in. Oh, I'm out of ammo. No. Surely not. Take your time, Ben. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. How much health has this person got? They're bloody... Yes! Oh, that nailed it. That was like 66, 70 FPS. Is it maybe getting a bit... Now it's getting lighter with all that like ray tracing shadows of the moon. Sort of chilled out a bit. I think that was like my first official Fortnite kill that. I have actually won a game of Fortnite, but it was like against bots, so it was probably didn't really count. My first ever game. What's this gun here? It's like... Oh, this is getting exciting. Oh, God. He's building stuff. I'm not that advanced yet. Let's see how much FPS we can get. Because the esports players don't even need graphics on. So we'll just crank it right down to low next. Because we're getting esports level after the couple kills we've got today. Oh, that looks hideous. Oh, gosh. That looks awful. Fortnite looks awful now. Look, went from being sexy. Oh, over 200 FPS, though. I'll have that. Oh, I'm getting nailed now, but we'll be able to see him because we've got the graphics settings turned so low. See, we wouldn't be able to see that dude if we had the settings cranked up. Oh, baby. How's the FPS on this bike? It's still nailing it. 120. So the highest we got was about 200-ish when we first switched to low settings. If we can win a game of Fortnite on this PC, then you may as well just go buy it. Oh, easy peasy. Oh, come on. I'm having so much fun, guys. This PC is amazing. 162 FPS. That's really good. I'll keep the graphics on low because it is making it much easier for seeing people. You know, and all you care about is that win. You're getting that W, isn't it? We don't really care about the ray tracing it. Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, God. Holy moly. Oh, come on. Oh, yes. Oh, we didn't need to worry. Health pack. Okay, nice. Oh, no, cancel it. No, please, I'm stuck in the... No, cancel it. Oh, I'm second place. I wasn't meant to trigger the health pack. You're kidding me. No, we could have took that guy out, no problem. Why didn't it let me cancel it out of all the times we've healthed up? I hate this game. So, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 1 never came out on PC. So, let's take a look at what we got here. 1440p, good start. Let's get that refresh rate unlocked. Anyways, with this game, I'm sure it'll perform pretty fine. But I want to see how the DLSS does. We can sort of test out that DLSS feature. Because honestly, on the RTX cards, the DLSS is insane for allowing you to get better graphics and also better frame rates within your games without having to, like, get the fancier GPUs. Sure, you lose a little bit of, like, yeah, well, you know, it does its magic, as we all know. But I think it's magnificent technology. Right, okay. So we got NVIDIA DLSS cranked up. And obviously, it looks incredibly pixelated. Look at that water. Look how bad that water looks. But we are getting 105 FPS. Graphics look hideous, though. Well, not hideous. That's maybe the hair. Just things like the hair and stuff, isn't it, that's being cranked down. But we're getting that pretty nice FPS, if that's all you care about. Graphics. Let's try and get some better graphics, though. Okay. Right, so even with NVIDIA DLSS turned off now, we established, you know, we could get about 104 FPS if you wanted to. We're getting, regardless of needing it, we're getting 93 FPS on that sort of high ultra sort of setting with a few things turned off here and there at 1440p. Look at that. Look at that beautiful number in that top left corner. 90 FPS. I'm happy with that. Red Dead Redemption, yeah, it is getting old at this point as a game. It's been out for a while, I admit. But it still doesn't make it any easier to run. It's still got lots of detail, great graphics, and a lot going on. And this game in particular, not only does it hammer your GPU, it's also quite reliant on that CPU performance too to process a lot of the stuff regarding like the AI and things. I'm pretty sure when Red Dead Redemption came out on my old like 980 Ti PC, I was only hitting like 60-ish FPS or something at like 1440p if I remember right. It struggled really hard on this game. That was a custom water-cooled PC as well that cost me a fortune back in like 2015, 16. So to get that from this little sort of mid-range PC now, I think that's an awesome deal. In conclusion, this PC that I found on Amazon is very good. I'm pretty happy with its overall performance across the variety of games that we tested, and also it looks fantastic with its overall aesthetic with that white PC build and the nice RGB effects. In fact, one of the coolest things about this case is the LED button. If you press this button on the front of the case, it will change and sync all of the LEDs within the fans and also on the front panel with one another. You can cycle through a bunch of different modes. It looks absolutely awesome. I've also noticed while playing a lot of games on this PC that it is incredibly quiet. Of course, it just has 2 fans. It's got an exhaust fan and an intake. Maybe you could add some more if you wish to upgrade this in the future, but the temperatures weren't too shabby when we were actually playing these titles. But the benefit of obviously having much less fans on your gaming PC is that its running speed, both with it being idle and under load when it's doing performance tasks, will mean that it will run much, much quieter and won't get on your nerves if you're playing for hours and hours during the summer holidays. Now, if you are one of my UK viewers, I have managed to get you a discount on this computer. I was so impressed by it, I reached out to AWDIT myself and got you £100 off this system, which means you'll be able to get it for around £900. When you check out on Amazon, just press a little box, and during the duration after this video sort of goes live, they'll be offering a discount code. And just to put this price into perspective, if you were to build this computer yourself and buy all of the parts individually, you would end up spending around £860, and that actually excludes a power supply. With a power supply, you're looking at around £900 to £920. So it's a pretty good deal considering that you don't have to spend hours building the system yourself, and you also get a copy of Windows 11. You don't have to get some dodgy code off some CD key website. I will leave a link down below in the video description over to this PC, but for my USA viewers, unfortunately, this PC is only available on Amazon UK. So instead, on my Amazon store page, I'll create a parts list so you can see every single part and component that is in this system, so you can go out and build your own if that's what you wish to do. If you want to see me test one of the cheapest gaming PCs on Amazon, you should watch this video next, because surprisingly, the performance is pretty good.